Hello, I'm Jerry McKee. Welcome to Primetime with Jerry McKee, episode 29. We got some great guests. We've got Dale Goff, we've got Bob Love, we've got Mary Owens here, and they're going to talk about the Love Thy Neighbor. And it's not going to be preaching, but it's going to be the gospel. I can tell you that right now. And stay tuned. We'll be right back after this message from
most important moments in your life. When you need to say congratulations, express gratitude, or say I love you. At Graham's Flowers, we deliver your deepest emotions. When you need more than just flowers, call Graham's Flowers your personal florist. At Graham's Flowers, customer satisfaction is guaranteed. Visit us at 208 East Main Street in Union, South Carolina, or call us at 864-427-2454.
All right, I said we'd be back. That was a really short one, but Graham Flowers, for all your flower needs, go by and see them. Make somebody happy, make them smile. And like I said, we got the Love Thy Neighbor group and the Union County Love Thy Neighbor group, because we know there are other groups across the United States, but this is a special group here, and we're going to get their faces on here instead of mine. There's a lot prettier than mine is. You see mine all the time. And Dale, introduce yourself, and let's just go around the room right here.
That sounds great. I'm Dale Goff. I'm a retired educator with the school system here, and I've worked with children and teenagers, and now as a retired person, I'm getting to actually get into the community and work with adults, which has been awesome.
That's great. Bob?
Jerry, first of all, thank you for having us. We appreciate you giving us an opportunity. We've learned so much about how we can help our neighbors since we started this just a few months back. So we're glad to share more with people that are here too. My name's Bob Love. I'm a retired confectionery salesman and a book salesman, and I finally retired about 2 years ago, and have been, as Dale has gotten me involved in more community activities. We've been I'm sort of living in her wake. She pulls me along, and I just do whatever she says. But I'm really excited about what we have going in the community right now.
Well, I know I'm excited looking at some of the things that y'all have been doing like it. Now, Mary, go and introduce yourself.
Again, thank you for allowing me to be a part of your program. I am the director of Sisters on the Move Education Center. I'm also the Family Services Director for Union Housing Authority.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, it seems like y'all got it covered in the neighborhood here. And if anyone has a question, you can call 864-441-9382, and this will be live. We'll be able to hear what you're talking and ask the question if you have one. Now, Love Thy Neighbor. Tell me a little bit about that.
Can I tell you how I got involved, how I got started?
Sure.
Dale and I are members at Grace Methodist Church, and we realized that we weren't reaching out to our neighbors. So we decided we would start with some blessing boxes. So we put out blessing boxes. The people at the church really liked it. In fact, we now have a roster. People sign up for a day of the month, and it's their day to fill the blessing boxes up on that particular day. Well, so through that, we made contact with our next door neighbor, who is C4 Ministries. And the people from C4 came over and said, that's a great idea. And we sort of agreed together that it wasn't enough. So we started a neighborhood supper so we could really get our neighborhood involved with us. It has been going on for about 6 months now. We do it the fourth Thursday of every month. We put a big sign in the front yard of the church We pass out little invitations throughout the neighborhood. And really, we're trying to get a good meal for the homeless, which we have identified as a huge problem in the area of our church, and the needy families also. And Thursday night of this past week, we served about 60 people.
Wow.
We gave them chicken sandwiches and baked beans and pears and trail mix and all those things. And we are trying to create an environment there where people will feel comfortable coming to us. As you said, this isn't the gospel, but you're going to hear about the gospel. I saw this great thing, this gentleman that has built a housing development basically for homeless in Austin, Texas.
Right.
And I think he's up to about 500 tiny homes now, right? And people ask him about his ministry. He said, we want people to see Jesus in as few words as possible.
Well, actions.
So we want these people to feel loved, and we also want to be a source of information for them. So when we come, and Dale sort of coordinates this, when they come, we talk to them about things that are available in the community that they may not know about or may not have access to. And that connected us with the Housing Authority. And then we started this whole connection with the Housing Authority, and it has just blossomed throughout the community. So that's how I became involved, and that's how it started. And I'm mighty proud to be part of it, I'll tell you that.
Well, I tell you, our community really does not know how severe the homeless population here is in Union. I travel all around the state, and especially in Greenville area like that, and I see it tremendously. I did a show and went out and talked to some of the homeless people.
Yeah.
And it's not all about drugs. It's actually people that just down on their luck and
Yeah.
just can't get that step up.
A lot of it is circumstance. It is.
Yes.
We had two ladies that came to our dinner Thursday night. They live in the woods in Monarch, right? And at one point in time, they were a middle-class family. They were a well-to-do family. Right now, they're living in the woods in Monarch. So how can we help them? And this lady, she said, I would like for you to pray for my kids and my grandkids.
Wow.
She's living in the woods, and she didn't say pray for me. She said pray for my kids and my grandkids. I thought, how great is that?
Wow, that's unselfishness.
Yeah, that's right.
And people like to stereotype that, you know,
Yes.
and when they do it in a negative way.
Yeah.
And if they really got to know, and you got circumstance, you got one in every bunch or so that does not want, because I did talk to someone that was homeless that he wanted to be that way. He did not want anything else.
Right.
And I said, oh, okay. He said he liked living free and just going anywhere he wants to go and get this right here, which, okay, that's his, but it's not that case with everyone.
Yeah, and you know, you might think that there is a safety risk there too, and there probably is a small one, but we've never, in all these meals we've done, we've never felt threatened in any way by any of the people that come to the neighborhood suppers. They are loving people, and we just try to love them back and say, well, you can talk a little about the connector that we have told people about.
Right. One thing I will have to say is our connection with C4 Ministries has been phenomenal. They led us to see what needed to be done.
Brad and Bill are great guys.
They really
They're great.
are.
And Stephanie too. We're working
Yep,
with Stephanie
Stephanie.
on a lot of
Absolutely.
things too. Yeah.
And one of the things we realized where our church setting, we have C4 who helps families in crisis. Then we have the library. I can't even tell you all the services. 2 social workers, the South Carolina Works, all of these help agents. They
Food closet.
food
distribution.
distributions. Then you go to the pregnancy center on Main Street, and on Wednesdays they open the doors to let the homeless people come in and wash their clothes, take showers. They have clothes there for them, so if they need to go look for a job, they have clothes that they can.
Well, you got a event coming up at the Pregnancy Center, Showers of Blessings,
Yes,
correct?
absolutely. 25 years. It's just unbelievable. But they're unsung heroes, without a doubt. Then you have First Baptist Church that offers a clothes closet every Wednesday for free. So all of these services are here in this one area to provide for all those people who need that assistance. And like you said, whether they choose to be in the woods or whether they're looking for a hands up,
Right.
we love them. We're going to make them feel important and special because they are. In fact, the other night we had one gentleman that Bob was talking about. He's a poet, and he said, "I want to share my poem for Love Thy Neighbor." And so we videoed it, put it on our Facebook page, and it's had many, many hits because it's just that feeling that you get that this matters. It matters to them, it matters to us.
You never thought that gentleman right there would be a poet.
That's right.
And he did. I listened to it.
That's
Yeah.
great.
And it's beautiful because it came from his heart.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One of the other things that that Bob was telling about is this union connector. Even to this day, we had something at the Housing Authority last week and found out that the ladies who were there did not know about the Union Connect, Union Connector transportation system.
Wow.
We've been trying to make sure at our neighborhood dinners that everybody knows that this is an option. So it's great to be able to get that word out through your program that Union Connector, you can go within a 5-mile radius of the courthouse. It's $1 one way, $1 back, and you can. It's open doors to people who didn't have transportation even to go get medical treatment.
Well, I remember when they brought that into Union, and I thought that was going to be the greatest thing they could do is to help, because people don't realize it's a lot of people don't have a car. They don't have a transportation. They don't have a loved one to take them there.
Yeah, they're dependent on someone who really will have to miss work or another appointment or something so they can take them. So it's a great, and I have the phone number. I'd like to give it out
Sure,
if you think
go ahead.
that's okay.
Yes.
The number for the Union Connect is 864, of course, and it is 762-7972. Just call 48 hours in advance. They'll schedule a time. You can go to the drugstore. You can go to Walmart, the doctor, the dentist, just about anywhere you need to go within 5 miles of the courthouse. It's a great service for us. And they are busy, so make sure you call.
Well, that's good that they are busy, because that's what we want them to be, is busy like that. Maybe they're looking at expanding out beyond the 5-mile radius.
That's correct. That's part of the plan.
Right.
Let's test it. The state's supporting us in the 2-year test. So let's support the Connect, and then we'll get Lockhart, and we'll get Santuck and Carlisle and Jonesville and everywhere.
Now, do they come through Lockhart that they can stop?
They
all the
do.
way?
They
I
do.
mean-
They come through Lockhart, and they can pretty easily come through Carlisle too. So it makes sense. And I think if you call the number now, and if you have a specific need for maybe 3 riders, I think they'll make arrangements to stop and pick you up. So I think it's just a matter of calling 762-7972, and they'll make an arrangement to pick you up if they can, because they're coming through anyhow, right?
Right, exactly.
So, yeah.
They're coming through anyhow.
Yeah.
And well, that's great. And yeah, I'm glad the union's getting some of these things here, because it really helps our community. It builds our community.
Yeah.
It builds a relationship.
Yeah. So these steps, as we started doing these things, and as we started working with the Housing Authority, the one thing, a couple of things we recognize as a real need. One was that kids are behind in school. Because of the pandemic and because of other things, kids are just not at grade level on math and reading. So we decided, as Love Thy Neighbor group, what can we do? Is there a way we can reach out to these kids and tutor them and try to get them up to speed and get them up to grade level? So we started that. We started tutoring. I don't know if we decided on a count today. Maybe we've got 10 kids.
Right. We actually had a community meeting in the spring, and we had a wonderful turnout both times. We had a wonderful turnout when we were talking about what are the needs of our community. We had another wonderful turnout when we did a program on the opioid substance abuse, that issue. So while we were doing that, we had 20 tutors who signed up straight, just right at the beginning. We had 20 people who signed up for the advisory board. People want to be a part of this. People want to help. So we're hoping that we're going to progress from 20 tutors to 50
tutors, or
100 tutors, because or not necessarily just for tutoring. What we're finding is in every group, every vulnerable group, there's a barrier, and every barrier needs a volunteer. Every barrier needs a caring adult, whether it's our seniors. We have senior issues where people are hungry, people need food. We have our situation with our opioid, our substance abuse. we need to be thinking out of the box so that we can help in that area. And I would like to mention something about what we're going to do with that. The other thing that we've realized in these meetings that we've had is that we don't have enough family activities and activities for youth and teenagers so that they are busy and they are,
Right, and they need to be. Now I know that Corinth Church. It's been a couple of years ago that I talked with them. Now they had computers upstairs that they would take kids and to teach them some math
They
skills.
still have
and
that program.
They still have
Yeah,
that
they still
program.
have it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I think that's a great program.
Yeah.
And with the county putting in all this extra internet,
Yeah,
it's going to be a
broadband.
plus.
Yeah.
certainly will.
Because a lot of kids, the family's not home to take them somewhere to get on the internet to learn.
Yeah, the one thing I want to make sure we don't overlook is that the Housing Authority is a great partner with us. We can use their facilities. We use their resource room to store our tutoring materials. Right, we have a place the kids can come to, and we can do more than one at a time in the community room there at the Housing Authority. And so many other things too. The activities that Dale's talked about, we've been involved in those. And of course, when we go to those activities, we take a little pop-up tent, and as people go by, we say, hey, we're doing tutoring. Would you have a child that would need to be tutored? Do you know a child that would need to be tutored? So we're sort of recruiting as we participate in all these great things that the Housing Authority does.
Right. And most parents know if their kids are struggling or if they don't have time to, and you got some parents as far as education wise is not able, so I can't teach I had the basic math, I can't teach that math there.
Yeah.
So they have an opportunity to give you a call up and say, yes, my child can need some help and not feel embarrassed about it. See, that's the thing about where people got to get used to. Don't feel embarrassed that you need help. Everybody needs help.
Yeah.
Don't care who they are.
Hey, I learned during the pandemic when we were homeschooling our grandkids, there's a lot, one was second and one was fourth, right? There were a lot of things in fourth grade math and things like that I had to brush up on, right? And now they're sixth and fourth. And when they bring their homework for the week, sometimes they have to go look some things up because you just don't remember everything that you learned as a 12-year-old.
That's right. You don't. And and I know you got the Strengthening Families program. Can you tell a little bit about that? Working with C4 and
Yes, that's the part of that partnership that we have with C4. Stephanie Goodell has gotten this program together as part of a grant. She's been in every elementary school where she brings 12 families in, and they work throughout the semester, helping families to grow in their parenting skills and also to help the children. So they go in separate parts to do resilience building, how to better handle situations, and then they come together, children and parent, and they share, they talk, they build this community. They have a dinner for them. It's been amazing. I have not participated. I've only been part of it through talking with Stephanie. But this time it's going to be at Sims. It's with middle-aged students, and I am going to be a part of this one. So I'm really excited to share with this whole semester.
All right. Well, folks, we'll be back in just a couple minutes here, and we'll learn some more about these programs. It's going to help our community. We'll be right back, and we hear something from Mary, too. We're not going to let her sit there.
That's right.
For the most important moments in your life, when you need to say congratulations, express gratitude, or say I love you. At Graham's Flowers, we deliver your deepest emotions. When you need more than just flowers, call Graham's Flowers your personal florist. At Graham's Flowers, customer satisfaction is guaranteed. Visit us at 208 East Main Street in Union, South Carolina, or call us at 864-427-2454.
Can I say something about you first? Okay.
Okay, we're back, and that was a quick 30 seconds there on that commercial. It's Graham's Floors. We appreciate them being a sponsor, and be sure to go by and say hello from Primetime. And we're coming back now to find out more about these programs. So don't forget about this number up there, 864-441-9382. Give them a call if you have a question or if you need to know a number or anything like that. Just give us a call, and we'll be waiting for you live. Okay.
Okay, one thing I do want to say is we were finding our way as a group, and we were having our struggles, but we were going along until we found the golden nugget, and that would be Mary Owens. Mary was hired at the Housing Authority, and Mary already had a program in place there called Sisters on the Move. She's grown that program into having probably 40, 50 women.
50 plus.
She's taking these women to Myrtle Beach for a day on September 26th. She has provided things for these women that it really is amazing, and I've been blessed to be there to see it in action a few times. So when she was hired for this position at the Housing Authority, we could not have been more pleased and more blessed. So I'm hoping that she'll share some of the things that she thinks out of the box. So I'm just real excited to know what she's going to share.
Thank you, Dale, for your vote of confidence. I've just recently been hired as the Director of Family Services, as she said, about 2 months ago. And I'm eager to tell you about some of the different programs that we have planned for the Chambertown community. On July the 30th, we did a Live Like Mike back to school drive. We were able to give the kids backpacks to help them get prepared to go back to school. And I thought, let's think out of the box. Let's do something different. So I called upon some of the local barbers here in Union County and asked them if they would come in and do some of those kids some free haircuts, because a lot of the parents do not have money, $15, $20, to go out and get the kids' haircut. So we were able to do 21 free haircuts.
I saw the pictures. That's
That's
some
right.
sharp-looking haircuts.
That's right. So they did 21 free haircuts. We did 3 little girls. They got the African braids, and we were just thrilled to death. The parents and the kids were happy, and we were happy to be able to help them out.
Well, say they can go to school and show that
Go
new...
to school and be
Okay.
well-groomed.
Yes.
That's what we were looking for.
That is great.
Also, on August the 23rd and 24th, we had planned to do door-to-door knocking, going into the community to introduce ourselves, because a lot of them, they know me. I worked with the government for like 33 years, but they do not know, or they're not aware of the fact that I am the new Family Services Coordinator. So I want to introduce myself to them and let them know some of the programs that we have planned for them. So on August the 13th, we had our first event. We had a bingo day. So we had a couple of the residents to come out and play bingo. We're going to be doing that once a month. The first Monday of each month, we're going to be playing bingo. On September the 23rd, that's our big event. We're going to have a back-to-school bash, and it's going to be at the Michael Land Ballpark there in Chambertown. It's going to be from 1 to 6. We're going to have the bouncy house that all the kids love.
Oh, yes.
We're going to have the water slides. We're going to have the free ices or snow cones. We're going to be giving away free hot dogs. We're going to have bingo for us more seasoned people that like to play bingo. We're going to have games. We're going to have gospel singing. So if you want to come out and hear some good old-fashioned gospel singing, just come on out and do that. We're going to have vendors, and there's not a charge for the vendors. So it's a back-to-school plus a family event. We want to get the residents in the Chambertown community, we want to get them together and let them know that we love them, and we want to plan something to get them together. In October, we want to plan something each month. That's my goal. We're going to have a health fair. We're going to have the portable screening unit to come out and do health screening for the residents in the Chambertown area. We're going to have a coat drive. We're going to be collecting coats for the children in that area. We're going to have an ad in the Union County News to let the Union County residents know that we are collecting coats, that they can bring them to the local housing authority, and we'll have a drop-off box. We're going to make sure that they're clean, and then we'll be distributing them to the kids in that area.
Well, because wintertime's coming up, and a lot of kids, they don't believe, and a lot of grown-ups, they don't have a coat, a decent one to wear.
I was just amazed that when I worked at the alcohol and drug, that's the first coat drive that I did, and we collected the coats at the alcohol and drug office and brought them to Chambertown. And when we were distributing those coats, a lot of those young children, it just broke my heart for them to say they wanted to collect the coat for all the family members. So we're not only collecting coats for children, we're also collecting coats for adults, all the family members. Also, in October, we're going to do a Halloween carnival. That's going to be October the 28th. So we're going to be giving out candy. The kids can wear costumes and just another fun field day there. In November, we're going to do a soup and cornbread day, where they can just come and fellowship and get some soup and cornbread. And the biggie in December, we're going to have the train. So the kids can come and ride the train. And we're going to have Santa Claus. Santa Claus is going to be there. And we're going to have some gifts for the kids.
That's great.
So I'm just excited to be able to do these things for these people in the community. I've always worked with the public. And I've always liked to give back to the public. So this gives me an opportunity to be able to give back to that community.
Well, your reward is when you see a child
Smile.
got a smile on his face, and then maybe he just had maybe a bad week or a bad month or just a bad time, to be able to get something that makes him just feel proud and to lift him up.
That's right.
That is fantastic. I did one drive for some of the homeless in Greenville, sleeping bags. And I drove around and saying, and then I'd pass them out, and where they just had something draped over them, something like that, just kind of was waterproof and something like this, to kind of give them some relief, like that. But and you know, little things.
It's interesting when they come to our neighborhood supper, what they use to move their goods in, right? They have a few things that they own, right? They might come in a baby carriage, right? They might come in a little red wagon, but basically what they own is in that little compact thing, and then they take that and go back to the woods wherever they came from when they come in. So you're right. There are a lot of people that have very little. And one of the things that C4 is encouraging us to do, and they are also doing, is we know these things we've done are a start, but there's a bigger problem for homeless people in the winter. There's a big problem for homeless people when it's really warm, especially at night. So we're working on ideas to provide, get out of the cold, right? Be safe, get out of the cold, come to a place you trust. Get out of the heat, right? Come to a place you can trust. So we're working on that. We'd love, of course, to have a year-round place for people to go and stay. I don't know that that's further down the road. But right now, especially Brad at C4 is concerned about the temperature changes and how that's going to affect people.
Well, the heat has been tremendous this year.
Yeah.
And we think about, we sit in our comfortable homes and just think, we go outside, we get miserable. Like, I just think if you had to live out there, and you've got insects, you've got snakes, you've got all kind of predators like that, that's not healthy. And if you're not eating healthy and you're not getting the nourishment there or being hydrated, it's even worse.
Yeah. Yeah. Another part of the longer term thing is we love our neighborhood supper that we do. That's one night a month, right? These people are hungry every day, and we can tell from our blessing boxes, because you can put your goods in the blessing box at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you can come back at 9 o'clock and it will be gone. And you can come back at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and an hour later it's gone. You really could almost fill those blessing boxes 3 or 4 times a day. And fortunately, we have come up with some new resources to help us keep them more full more often. But the bigger part of that picture is we need to be feeding the homeless and the needy more often, right? And as Brad and I are just having this conversation, we're thinking, what if he could get a facility, which we're working on, with a kitchen, and a church would sign up for a day a month. Grace Methodist would take the second of the month every month. So for 12 days in a year, Grace would come. They'd provide the food. There's plenty of food available, as we know. Mm-hmm. They would prepare the food. They would set up. They would serve. They would give those people a meal a day, right? And then the next day, another church comes in and does the same thing. And if you spread this, what's the church count in Union County now? 200 and...
A lot.
So when I first moved back to Union in 2001, a friend called me from Phoenix, and he said, "What is Union like?" I said, "Well, I'm looking at the local paper." I said, "And the front page story today is a picture of a guy washing the shopping carts at Winn-Dixie. I said, that's the kind of town Union is. I said, I knew the number at the time, but I said, it has 213 churches and one bar. That's the kind of town, that's the kind of area Union is. So why can't these churches come in and take a day and help a day and do their part a day? So that is a long-term goal. Facility has to come first, but that's a long-term goal, is secure weather protection and more frequent feeding for people that really need it.
Now, I know some of the towns, even Gaffney itself, and some of the other big towns like that, they have a soup kitchen that's open 5 days a week.
Yep.
And I'm just wondering if something that Union can form or get government assistance on that to able to have something like that. I know that Salvation Army does one up in Gaffney,
Right.
and puts the people in there, hired them to fix the meals at lunch, at least 5 days a week. They had a place to come and eat.
I am sure we can. If we put our mind to it and we get a good plan for it and go out and seek out help, people in Union are mighty generous. And I'm sure that they would help us do that, and we could feed these needy people every day. If we get the program in place, I'm sure we can do it.
Well, I talked to a lady up there, and she says they have anywhere from like 60 to 90, just depends on the time of the year. And around the holidays, believe me, that's the worst time of the year. That more and more homeless and more people that's out there that doesn't have anything to eat.
Yeah. Our number for last week's supper was between 50 and 60, and that's about what we've had. So that's about the number of meals I think that we would need to provide on a daily basis as we go forward.
Well, I always wondered that about Union, as far as having a soup kitchen here or something like that. I said, well, I'm sure that we've got people that will attend and do this. So it just kind of brought my mind when he's talking about feeding. At least they would have a meal 5 days a week, and a good meal, a good healthy meal.
Yeah.
Like I said, you can stock those boxes with different types in time. Maybe that person gets there, it might not be but one can of corn or one can of this here, and it's not really a good balance as far as health-wise. But I know you talked about having these programs where they can come for eyesight, the teeth, I believe, and getting checked.
There are services that are available that will come to your location, and they will do vision checks, and they will do those things. So we need to now tie those in to our neighborhood dinners and make them available to more people more often, because there are a lot of health issues in these people that are homeless. They haven't been to doctors or dentists in years and years.
That's right, and preventive, that help maybe catch something they do have that will help them be healthier, and because healthy body is a healthy mind.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, you just did a plug, so I can tell about the free women's influencer training, which is perfect, because we're talking about how important it is to keep these health screenings, and we have found that, and I did not realize this, the lifetime risk for a man to have some form of cancer is 1 in 3 now, which is pretty disturbing. And the best way to get a man to a screening is by a caring woman.
Yes.
So what's happening on September the 12th is a free women's influencer training. So if you're a mother, if you're a wife, if you are just good friends with good neighbors, grandmothers, we need to be coming together and finding out how we can help these men to receive screenings, get properly diagnosed, and then treatment if needed. And again, it's one of those situations, if you have a caring volunteer, a caring person to back that person, then it'll happen. So they even sweeten the pot. So now they're offering the first 20 women who register and attend will receive a $20 gift card. We'll also have a dinner that evening. So, and I just posted on our Facebook page that if you need transportation, we have the Connect, and we also would hopefully maybe have a van to provide some transportation and volunteers. So please come, sign up. The number is here. I can give it to you now, and you can find it on our Facebook page, which I'd like to give you as well. It's 803-205-6263. And just call that number and register.
And you're right. Men, we can be stubborn. We feel that, and I'm speaking even for myself, that, well, it's a little pain here, a little pain there. I don't need checking out here. I'm healthy. I'm good. This right here. We figure that if we say that I feel this right here, it makes us look weak or something, and we need a good woman that will influence us to say, hey, look, you need to go check us out. I worry about you, or, I'm concerned about you. And that'll be a wonderful program right there.
And the wonderful thing too is all these connections. I woke up in the middle of the night and I thought, Mary, Sisters on the Move, all these women who are just awesome, and they all have sons and grandsons and husbands and friends, and so connecting, they're just an immediate connection. We brought it up at our church yesterday, so. Hoping that it goes far beyond just our church and Sisters on the Move, that we have a huge crowd. It'd be awesome.
Right. Have any other churches invited y'all to come and talk maybe to their congregation about some of these programs?
Well, I have to say, the first thing that happened, even back before the summer, the New Life Baptist Church Women's Group invited us to come talk about Love Thy Neighbor. How they had found out about us that fast, I don't know, but it was wonderful. And the result of that was that they sponsored 13 children from the Housing Authority to come do part of their kick camp. The weather was terrible that week. I think everybody was a little disappointed, but the connection and the offer that they did that to sponsor those children was just a blessing. Yeah. Juanita Giles from the New Breed Evangelical Church at the bottom of the hill there on Main Street. She is probably the beacon. She's the real deal when it comes to living the Love Thy Neighbor. She has tutored as part of our group. Mm-hmm. She has reached out to help teenagers to connect to some apprenticeships through the connections she's made through Love Thy Neighbor. She's invited us to come to their family and friends. We've invited them to bring their youth group to our Back with a Splash that's coming up next week. She lives it. She also does a Bible study on Monday nights because she said she doesn't want to have to compete. She doesn't want people to have to compete on where they can be. If they want to come, she wants them to be able to come and worship with them. She's done a fabulous job as far as connecting to us as partners.
Okay. Now, I know you talk about all these other programs, as far as education-wise and food, stuff like that, and Union does have a drug problem. We do. We know that. And we
do. We were told, Jerry, that Union is number one per capita in call-outs for drug overdoses, right? We're not the biggest county, but on a per capita basis, we get more call-outs for drug overdoses than any county in South Carolina. Yes, it is a very big problem.
I think it's like 300 something in just a few months, actually.
Yeah.
And it is a big issue. I've had a guest that talked about how easy these drugs are to get, how you can buy the pill making machine on Amazon for like $1,200, and how that the difference between fentanyl stuff coming out of Mexico, which is only like 54% pure, versus coming out of China, which is, I think it said 92% pure. And if they're used to taking stuff out of Mexico, the next thing you know, they're taking something out of China, then they're going to OD on it. Right. And just a little bit on a pencil lead, it can take your life.
Right.
And to me, that's just alarming.
Yeah, just the dust of it is enough to make you sick, maybe even make you addicted. Just a little bit of dust will do it. It's so strong now. You want to talk about mental health first aid? And
I do.
Coming up in September.
When we were talking with our public safety and we talked with Carolyn Rutherford, she really was instrumental in helping us connect to the Housing Authority because she'd worked there for 7 years. We talked about how important literacy was, but then we also talked about the opioid substance abuse. It's in all of our families. We have a struggle. Everybody knows it doesn't play favorites. So we brought in Tori Olusi from the Hold Out the Hotline as one of our community meetings. We had a very nice crowd, and she shared a lot of the information about about the statistics, but when it came time to really talking about what to do about it, it's more like come together as a community. See what works in other places, see what would work for your community, but work together and make a plan, which that's one of the things that we're truly hoping, that those who have a heart for the substance abuse issues can come together and make a group. The first thing we're going to do is something called mental health first aid. And Taylor Atkinson at the library received a grant to help us be able to do this. This is a blessing because this is at no charge. But mental health first aid is a skills-based training that connects mental health and how to deal with mental health issues that ultimately bring substance abuse. So our first training, it's an 8-hour training. It's a big commitment. But our first training is September 15th, which is a Friday, 9 to 5. And we have about 6 slots left, I think. So if anyone's interested, it is at no cost. Dinner's provided, lunch is provided. And I think we'll all come better for it. They say every person should be trained in mental health first aid, just like in CPR, because we're going to save a life.
Exactly, and every family, if you haven't got anyone that's in substance abuse, you're very fortunate.
Count your lucky stars. That's right.
Every family has it, and you say, "Well, it'll never happen to me." And I heard that story when I had the lady here on my show that was seven years clean, and now she successful insurance agent here in Union, and doing great. And she told us her story, and she wasn't expecting it to happen to her either. And it can happen to anyone just by taking painkillers, and it can lead up to this different things. I've heard that so many times that one connects to the other, but we can't shove them underneath the rock. We can't push them away. We can't just close our eyes to this problem. We've got to, like I said, educate, just like the program you got there, to be able to understand. And we got to not look for a cure, but for some relief.
Right. Yeah, in the meantime, you have to be able to recognize when that situation's occurring. This isn't as much about getting them off drugs, quote,
Right.
as it is what's going on in this situation. What can I do to help? How can I intervene to prevent it from going any further, right? And who do I need to call when I see that something like this is happening? So the curing the problem is a long road.
Exactly.
But helping those and loved ones, anybody that's in jeopardy because of drugs, if you can just step in and help a little bit, that's where this is going to help us. This program will help us.
And coming together as a group of volunteers, I don't know if anybody knows about Andy Stanley, but one of the things Andy Stanley says is, you'll know what your ministry is, you'll know what your mission is if something breaks your heart. Well, right. The substance abuse, the opioid, the losing we could lose a generation of children if we don't do something. So if we have a group of people in our community and this breaks your heart, then join Love Thy Neighbor and let's come together and let's form a think tank. Let's think of ways that we can see when children are becoming truant, when they're showing risk behaviors, that we can do things to be preventative instead of being reactive. There's so many things I think we could do. One of the things that we're hoping to do, even through the Housing Authority, is to have teenagers within the Housing Authority helping seniors to learn about technology. Because if you feel like you have a place where you belong, you have a purpose, you're starting to feel like you're a change agent. And we have someone who's joined our Union County Schools. Her name is Christina Mitchell Cody. She is doing a whole program called Fit Together through the school systems, and it is about helping teenagers, helping young people learn to become change agents, to feel like they're part of things. They feel like they can change their environment, whether it's their school environment or their community. And I think all of us could benefit by learning about things like that.
But with the teenagers showing some seniors some electronics, they're not only teaching them, but they're going to learn something from them seniors.
All right.
They're going to learn about life, politeness, and things that's going to embed, and they won't even know they're teaching them.
Yeah.
But I've talked to quite a few that drug addicts on the street, and because like I said, I go sometimes in the middle of the night. I'm in Greenville, out on the street, and I haven't found one that says, yes, I want to be this way.
Right.
It's just that I can't quit.
I can't stop being
do
this
it.
way, yeah.
I can't do it. I've tried, but it just that the addiction. We really, if you don't have an addiction, you won't never know.
The one experience that I've had recently is a person who got off of drugs, stayed off for a few months, then realized that the mental health issues were there. And then you realize that sometimes as a teenager, you're trying to cope. It's a coping mechanism, and we haven't dealt with the mental health issues that have to be addressed.
Right, and I think the state and including other states that started downsizing the mental health
Yes.
facilities did a disservice. It's like throwing them out on the street and not addressing their issues. They can't come in one day a week and speak to you and that's it and think that you're doing any good. Sometimes they need a little bit further, not institutionalized, but to show that
Yeah, more
someone
care.
is
Just need
caring
more
of it.
care. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, talking about the young people learning something from the seniors, with my senior program, we're hoping to go into Sims Junior High School, and we're going to start a program called On Becoming a Lady. We want to pair up one of our senior ladies with a young lady at Sims. We want to go in once a month, keep up with their grades. We want to go in and just talk to them, be their friend, maybe have lunch with them, and just teach them how to be ladies. You know, when we were going to school, our parents taught us how to be ladies.
Right.
But we have a different generation now. So I feel like if my seniors with my Sister on the Move program, if we were to go into the school and just let them know that we care, you know, we want to show them how to be ladies.
Well, a friend of mine, ours, that she had a program in school that she had the kids and showed them how to do a place setting.
That's right.
A formal place setting.
Etiquette, proper etiquette.
And showed them, different how to eat this way. Like, and at the end, she took them to a formal
That's
dinner
what we're
place.
planning to do. That's
And
right.
that way they know how to, what fork to use this right here,
right.
what glass to use with. And just the etiquettes.
Just spend time with them.
Right.
Take them out to dinner, to a movie, to a
Yes.
play. Just expose them to things that otherwise they would not be able to be exposed to.
That's right, because you've got a lot of we got a lot of theaters, we got a lot of places that plays that I think would be welcome to bring some kids in. Unfortunately, that's never seen a play before, that's never seen the acting, and let them meet the actors afterwards, and
That's right.
to have some something inspiration there.
Yeah.
You know, I myself, I write gospel stage plays, and I would love to have some of these kids come in and maybe do a play with just them.
Yeah.
You know, I'll write something and let them present it. So I'd love to do that.
Well, the high school let me come over, and I took some of their children that was in a drama class, and we did a drug video,
Wow.
and it's gone all over the place.
Wow.
Right.
And where we had one kid that would say, he's saying that he was had his buddy to look around for him, didn't see nobody there, and he took something. He said, "What are you taking?" He said, "Oh, I'm just taking this right here to get my grades better, to get me better in doing in school and athletic." He says, "I don't know." He said, "Oh, I can quit any time." In the next couple of scenes, I had him thinking, well, there he got called by his coach. "Hey, you didn't miss a couple of things. You're out." And then his teacher talking and said, "Your grades is down." Said, "I need to talk to your parents." It went in stages, like you said, being aware of what's going on. And that's kind of the way I wanted that video go. Now, it was kind of shocking at the end, but I wanted that shock factor at the end.
Yeah.
With the parents saying, "Oh, I know he's doing good because he stays in his room all the time.
Yeah.
I know he's doing this right here." So when they went to talk to him about this, well, unfortunately, he had passed. And I wanted that shock factor in there because that's reality.
Yep.
And
And
that's where part of the first aid, the mental health first aid, can help to give that recognition about some of those symptoms you're seeing.
Right. And what they got out of that, and the kids, they loved doing that. They really did. They just, and I see them out here today. Some of them going in college. They, "Hey, you're that guy we did the video with," and stuff.
Right, yeah.
But
Really great.
it got on their level.
Right.
That is great. One thing I do want to mention too, Mary has joined the board at the Healthy U, which is wonderful. We love that connection, and we also spoke to the county health department and found out that any family can come in and ask for a free Narcan kit, and they can pick one up and leave, no questions asked, at both of those facilities. So if you have any concern about the opioid, the fentanyl, go
You
by.
can save a life.
You could save a life.
Well, a lot of people don't even know that. They thought, once you had to have prescriptions and you couldn't
Right,
get it and stuff like
right.
that. But now it's there, and I've been a little slack on this because, like I said, I get sometimes called out 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, going up. I need to carry some in my
Right.
vehicle,
You do.
Right.
Because I run into a lot of homeless people,
Right.
and a lot of people on drugs and stuff like that. So, all right, we're going to take a little break here, and we'll come right back. We're at our 10-minute mark, and just time goes by when you have fun, isn't it? And we'll be right back.
For the most important moments in your life, when you need to say congratulations, express gratitude, or say I love you. At Graham's Flowers, we deliver your deepest emotions. When you need more than just flowers, call Graham's Flowers your personal florist. At Graham's Flowers, customer satisfaction is guaranteed. Visit us at 208 East Main Street in Union, South Carolina, or call us at 864-427-2454.
Well, I could say we're working on it.
Yeah.
All right, we're back, and we're at about 10 more minutes here or so. But I've learned a lot, and I'll let you continue on.
There's just so much that is happening in our community, and each day as we go along, we learn more about resources. I was looking for food for our neighborhood supper, right? Suddenly I get a call from a friend. She says, go to this place in Packlet. It's an old armory, and they have food that you can have for your blessing boxes, to serve your neighborhood, all those things. So they're just out there, and this one just came up last week, and I was able to go up and get extra things. Our friends that left our neighborhood dinner on Thursday night all left with a goodie bag. It had a can of chili. It had a can of pears. It had some toothpaste. It had some trail mix, right? It had some peaches. And so those extra things that we're finding, they're just making us stronger and stronger in our community, I think.
Now, your blessing boxes, who's making those? Is the schools helping you out doing that?
The two of our members at Grace built them for our facility. We've got one on each side of the church, one at each end of the church. And a family signs up for a day, and they take care of the 2 blessing boxes. And people come to our neighborhood dinner and say, it's gotten me through. That's gotten me through. Could you fill them up more often? Because it goes so fast, people have come to expect it, and it goes really fast.
Now, does some of the food stores, and maybe even the farmers market,
Yeah.
thing like that, do they contribute anything? I know sometimes, especially for vegetables and things, you
Yeah.
got a time limit on it, and I know sometimes they.
Not just supermarkets, but even retail restaurants. Some retail restaurants provide food. Also, it doesn't work for us, but for other people it does. And these resources I'm talking about, they have dairy products, they have refrigerated products. I'd like to send a shout out to Mont Etna. The Mont Etna
Yes.
Food Kitchen is just one of several. But Peggy Williams there has an incredible facility, and she provides food for 7 different distributions a month. You pull around back of her facility, she must have a 900 square foot outdoor freezer that she puts stuff in. And a church will come, they all have designated days. They'll come and they'll say, we're going to deliver to 70 today. And she'll say, okay, take 3 cases of that, 6 cases of that, this many gallons of that. The people will take it in bulk. They'll take it to their church. They'll fill out 70 boxes, and then they'll have volunteer drivers come in to make deliveries to different people through the community. So as Dale said, as I think you said, if you need food, there are a lot of great resources that people could put you on their list. So,
All they got to do is call and
yeah,
don't be prideful.
right. Yeah. Just call.
Because everybody has times in their life that they've been down. I know
Yeah.
I have myself.
Yeah.
And don't feel ashamed. I mean,
Yeah.
they're going to greet you with a smile. They're going to pat, they're going to build you up.
Yeah.
They're not going to turn you down.
Yeah, you're going to have a visit, and people appreciate that so much when you get to visit with them.
Especially some of the elderly, they love to
Absolutely.
get someone to visit them, don't
Yeah.
they?
That's right. And speaking of that program, Monette and the Food Kitchen, they provide food for my program on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a
Sisters
great
on the Move,
service.
yeah.
That lady that runs that, Peggy Williams, she's amazing. She's in there,
wonderful.
work all the time. They go to Spartanburg, pick up the food from Second Harvest, which is another great organization, trailer it back, load that house up, and in 3 or 4 days it's empty, and they go back the next week. So, a yeoman's job. Now, I don't want to overrun you because I know you got a couple
I
important
do want to
things.
mention, too, that the Senior Citizens Center, we've spoken to Tim Black, and he says they want to serve many more families, many more senior citizens than they're serving. So, again, the barrier is that senior citizens have to make the phone calls. They have to go through this procedure. So if we had volunteers to serve as advocates to help them get through the process, then I don't think there shouldn't be a problem that anybody in Union should be having.
Right, and
be hungry.
I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of seniors they feel they get frustrated trying to call in or trying to fill out a form, but they had someone to sit there with them and says, "Look, this is what we need to do. Let's do this," and kind of guide them with it.
Absolutely.
I think that you're right. That you would get more and more people.
So if seniors is what melts your heart, then join Love Thy Neighbor and become a part. That can be your niche. You don't have to participate in tutoring if that's not your forte. Pick the area that means the most to you and join us.
Right. Well, you got a lot of areas, don't you?
We do.
Oh, yeah.
I do want to mention one thing that has been available to Union now. The more partnerships we build, things just keep blossoming. We keep getting offers because they know we're looking and searching. So Goodwill Go has been connected. It's a grant, and it's connecting to our Goodwill. What they're offering is if anyone has been incarcerated from ages 18 to 24, it's nonviolent, then they will come in and pay those youth or teenagers or young adults to go into a business here in Union. They'll pay them $15 an hour for 20 hours for 10 weeks. It is of no cost to the business. But what the business is providing is some mentoring, some skill building, and hopefully building that person up like we're hoping for, so that at the end of the 10 weeks, if that person is a worthy candidate, they may want to hire them. If they don't, then they've provided them with some skills so they can feel confident to go look for a job.
I think I've seen somewhere there's a forklift
Operators.
training.
Yep.
I don't know if it's part of your ministry or
It's not.
But I've seen that come up that's offering for
Yeah.
them to learn how to drive a forklift.
Yeah.
And you got all these warehouses around, just like BMW's building a big facility in Woodruff.
Right.
Huge facility.
Yeah.
There's all, and believe me, these trucks and these distribution centers, they need forklift drivers and stuff.
Absolutely.
And they pay good money for it, and you get free training.
Yeah.
There's never been a better time to be going back to school or going for training. You can get your tuition free now.
Exactly.
But the barrier is that you have teenagers or young adults who say, "Well, I still can't do math. I'm scared to do this because I can't do math." But if they can approach Love Thy Neighbor and say, "Can you help me find a tutor?" How about an adult who hasn't ever learned to read and they're ashamed? But now you can find one tutor, one volunteer to help you learn to read. There's so many things there that if people will just reach out and we come together to do this.
Well, even help them with the GED.
Absolutely.
Because you got a big falling out of people dropping out of school. And I think it's some of the frustration that they maybe not getting the mentors growing up. They maybe not in their home and they just get frustrated and just quit and find that luxury job like I did. I was kind of crazy. I quit when I was in almost the 10th grade, and I thought to myself, at $1.70 an hour, man, that looked good.
That's right.
Well, it is hard to make a decision like that when you're young, and it looks like you're getting the immediate gratification.
It is, and now that with the universities, you're living in Union, you got a great opportunity there to go to college. You got a great opportunity at the South Carolina Spartanburg Community College here.
Yes.
I mean,
And you got
it's
love
there.
and you got love thy neighbors
Love
who
thy
want to be
neighbors.
there to help you.
To help you with it. Because if you go and get in there and you have some problems, then you got Love Thy Neighbor that's going to help you get through, whether it be
Absolutely.
math, whether it be English or whatever.
Yeah.
The other two things that I do want to mention, because I know we're short on time. One is one of the family activities that we have really been pushing in Union County is the disc golf. And we've been doing demos all around. We did it at the Carnegie Library. We did it at Juneteenth. We've done it at the Sheriff's and Greater Union backpack giveaways. But we're going to do one again at Uniquely Union Saturday morning from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. right behind the Main Street Junction. So if anybody wants to come out and learn a little bit about disc golf, it is an event. It's an activity that you can do as a family where it's really no cost. All you have to do is buy a disc, and you can go out and play golf. It's an 18-hole golf course that's disc golf instead of the old-fashioned kind of golf. And our community is getting together. We have a backing here of trying to make this happen in Union. We're so excited about this. So come out, join us to see what it's all about.
Well, I'll tell you, Love Thy Neighbors, you've got a lot going on, a lot for our community, and we really appreciate it. Thank y'all for coming and
Thank you for
being
having us.
on a show here. It's
Thank you, Jerry.
great information, and people can call. They can send me an email or send me a message, and I'll direct them right to y'all. So, it's just wonderful having y'all here to let our community know that, this is available. I mean, there's no excuses now.
Love Thy Neighbor is all of us. Please come join us.
It is. All right, I'm Jerry McKee, and I'm glad you got to watch us tonight and learn some great things. And next week, we're going to have a couple guests, and I'll let you know what that is towards the end of the week. I never let you know until then because I want you to read a little bit about them. Well, I'm Jerry McKee, and I'm with Jerry McKee with Prime Time, and you come back next week, next Monday at 7 p.m.